morning. It is Friday, the 4th of April. I'm Maeve McMahon and you're watching Europe Today, our special show about the first ever EU Central Asia Summit taking place. For the second day in a row here on Euronews, we're zooming out of Brussels and taking you to Central Asia, to Samarkand, a city in Uzbekistan, situated on the historic Silk Road trade route. This first ever summit of its kind takes place just as the US President Donald Trump spooked investors and politicians this week with his tariff announcements. With traditional allies treating the EU like foes, the bloc is now looking for new friends. That's why the EU Commission President Ursula von der Leyen is spending her day in Samarkand today, ensuring her hosts that the momentum is now.
Our partnership does not need a new beginning, but it experiences today a big step up, grounded on a very strong friendship. Now we are building on this legacy a enhanced partnership and cooperation agreement. This is a huge step forward.
With Turkey and the Middle East also expanding their presence in the region, the EU also wants to tap into the new opportunities and urgently diversify energy supplies. And Central Asia, well, it's a lot more receptive, perhaps, than other partners like China that usually come with more strings attached. Well, for more on this gathering that locals hope will put their unknown region on the world map, we can now cross over live to Samarkand and speak to Euronews' correspondent Shandor Ziros, who's standing by for us. Shandor, good morning. Great to see you. Thank you so much for joining us. First question, has this summit been a success? Bring us up to speed.
Good morning, Maeve, and hello from the sunny Samarkand. I would say yes, this is a success for both sides because the EU and the 5 Central Asian countries already agreed to step up their relationship, to step up the cooperation, mostly on business and mostly on economy. Let's start with the latest. Ursula von der Leyen just announced, as we speak, a 12 billion euros investment plan in the region, in the framework of the Global Gateway plan. This is going to have infrastructure and other projects. And also leaders finalized their conclusion that will formally be adopted at the end of the summit. And this says that the aim of the summit is to have a strategic partnership between the two blocs, especially mentioning raw materials, natural gas as main goals for the economical side. We have been talking to European diplomats. They were telling us that the strategic partnership aims for a commitment to peace, to respect of international law, and deepening cooperation on raw material, counter-terrorism. For the background of this summit, you have to know that Europe is looking for new partners in Central Asia because we have a strained relationship with the USA and the tariff war. And also Central Asia is looking for new partnerships from the region because they want to step out from the shadow of the local powers, China and Russia. So I would say yes, it's a success for both sides with a lot of business potential, and further cooperation will come after this summit.
OK, so a lot of focus there on business. Shandor Ziros, thank you so much for that live update from Samarkand and for bringing us up to speed on what the EU wants to get out of this summit. Thanks also to Lionel Lavelle, our cameraman, who's been filming all that footage for us to give us a sneak peek into what the summit really looks like. Well, for local authorities, it's all about business. And for more on that element, we can bring in Euronews' Bojan Barikic. He's been sitting down with the Uzbekistan ambassador to the European Union.
Uzbekistan, the host country of the first ever Central Asia European Union summit in Samarkand, already has the EU for its second largest trade partner. The volume of trade is growing at a steady pace, but the pledge of new strategic cooperation to be made on this summit could improve it further. I spoke to Gairat Fazilov, the ambassador of Uzbekistan to the European Union, about his country's expectations from this new enhanced cooperation with Europe.
We will upgrade our cooperation into the strategic partnership. And what it means, first of all, we have, if you look to the history of our relations the last 5 years, we see intensification of political dialogue in all levels, including head of states. We are living in a changing world, actually. You see transformation of international relations, and in this context, European Union and Central Asia are natural partners, and we have to be close to each other.
In virtually every country of the region, European Union is either the biggest, or all of its members together are either the biggest investor in the country or among the biggest. In what sectors is this particularly important in Uzbekistan?
Our investment economic cooperation covers large areas, starting from energy, trade, logistics, agriculture, renewable energy, especially solar energy, and water management. You know, we have a Team Europe initiative on digitalization, water issues, and we're interested to attract more European investment in European technologies. Uzbekistan is under very fast and dynamic transformation process. Our aim is construct democratic state, secular state based on market economy. And our democratic reforms process was supported by European Union. We are grateful for this.
Now we heard the announcement that after this summit you will also open the regional office of the European Investment Bank. Do you have any particular plans about how to utilize all this assistance?
We have a package of projects more than 200 million together with European Investment Bank. But it's only start. We are looking for more active activity, intensive activity of European Investment Bank in different sectors of our economy. And we started to discuss, for example, with under transport connectivity initiative. You know that Uzbekistan signed with EIB memorandum of amounted 500 million euros to finance transport projects in Uzbekistan.
Virtually every leader of Central European countries at one point or another stressed that the time has come for the mid-sized emerging economies of the world to play a more active role in the global geopolitical arena.
I don't want to say about ambitions. Our number one priority in foreign policy is Central Asia, good neighborhood relations, and close cooperation with immediate neighbors.
Yes, speaking of the neighbors, the interesting detail that probably some people don't know about is that your country was the first one to embrace the cooperation with the new Taliban government in Afghanistan, and you faced a lot of criticism back then, but now it seems to be bringing some fruit, and that your country may serve as some kind of a gateway for investment into Afghanistan.
You know, our foreign policy is pragmatic, balanced, pragmatic, and when it comes to Afghanistan, we keep concern about the future of this country. But at the same time, we have to look to Afghanistan not as a source of threat or challenge. We have to look to Afghanistan as opportunity. Our aim to connect Afghanistan into regional economic relations. Only this way we will be able to help Afghanistan to create a normal, real economy, and we have to help not only Central Asian countries, but whole international community have an obligation to help Afghanistan, to help ordinary Afghani people.
And that was Ambassador Gairat Vazislav there, expressing his hope that this summit could see his country upgraded in the eyes of the world. And as you heard there, the main headline from this summit is the news of a European Investment Bank office being set up and plans for a European Investment Forum to be held in Uzbekistan before the end of the year. Well, one organisation that's been helping the region transform to a market economy and attract foreign direct investment is the European Bank for Reconstruction and Development. Euronews' Alice Tidy has more.
On the ground here in Samarkand, we had the opportunity to sit down with Odile Renaud-Bassot, the president of the European Bank for Reconstruction and Development, one of the most important participants at this historic first ever EU Central Asia Summit. The EBRD is the biggest institutional investor in this region, and its commitment has far-reaching consequences.
So indeed, we invest a lot in the region. Since we started 30 years ago, we invested 21.6 billion euros. I think the bulk of our role, our strategy is to develop private sector, small businesses, but also attract foreign direct investment in all areas.
One of the goals here is about boosting regional cooperation and regulatory harmonization. The EBRD so far has focused on national projects. Is the aim to do more cross-border projects?
Indeed, there is a lot of focus on the connectivity of the region, and I think there is a lot at the regional level, a lot of discussion and investment around the Trans-Caspian corridor to diversify transportation possibilities away from Russia with the geopolitical situation we know. So this is a big area of investment for us. I mean, it's a process that will take time. It's a huge project involving different countries and so forth. So it will take time. And I think that what is important is to see progress. And there are a number of projects with port, with railway, with roads that are consistent with, are contributing to this Trans-Caspian investment. So this is an area we should not forget about.
Alice Tidy reporting there. Meanwhile, the climate emergency is another topic set to come up at the talks today in Samarkand. As the European Union plans to phase out coal and gas in the coming years, for now Central Asia is still very much reliant on fossil fuels, with no major phase-out plans on the table. Euronews' Galina Polanskaya has more.
The leaders of all 5 Central Asian states and the EU leaders will also take part in another important global event, the Climate Forum in Samarkand today. This forum was initiated by the president of Uzbekistan, Shavkat Mirziyoyev, and it brings together leading international organizations and world experts. Rising temperatures, water scarcity due to melting glaciers make Central Asia one of the most sensitive regions in the world when it comes to climate change. And Europe actively supports Central Asia as far as global climate challenges are concerned. The goal of this forum is to consolidate efforts and to find joint solutions to ensure sustainable development and security.
And that was Galina Polanskaya reporting for us there. Well, that brings this special edition of Europe Today to an end. For more in-depth analysis on the EU's ambition in the region at this so-called landmark summit and other issues like the region's role in helping Russia evade sanctions, you can take a look at our website, euronews.com. But for now, thank you so much for watching. You can also download our app if you want more information on that summit. Of course, our reporters are still on the ground, so keep an eye on them. But for now, see you soon on Euronews.
Well,